Former Howard Government Minister Ian Campbell thinks Mark McGowan is a sure bet.
It would be, I think, inconceivable for the Liberal Party to have a chance of winning this election. This government has performed well, the McGowan government has performed well, and it deserves to be re-elected.
Now working in the corporate sector with a seat on a number of boards, the Liberal stalwart says the Labor government has been good for WA. You've made the transition from politics to business. What's your experience with the McGowan government? Has it been good at consulting with business?
They have been, in my experience, incredibly open.
And he acknowledges Labor's management of the pandemic has been popular, despite February's snap lockdown costing hundreds of millions.
I thought it was an overreaction, but my thoughts are totally irrelevant because most West Australians would disagree with me.
Rob Scott is the CEO of Wesfarmers, one of the biggest employers in the state. He agrees Mark McGowan deserves credit for WA's strong COVID response.
But I think the government has done a very good job of keeping some of our critical mining commodity sectors operating, which are important not just to WA but also the nation.
WA Labor's strong ties with business in the state has left the Liberals struggling to re-engage supporters who were put off during the Barnett years.
The business community was exasperated by the end of the last term of the last Liberal government, and things haven't recovered from there.
The new Liberal leader has accused Mark McGowan of being too close to business, comparing Labor's relationship with corporate donors to the WA Inc. days of the 80s. In particular, he's questioning why the state's largest private land developer, Nigel Satterley, a Liberal Party member, is fundraising for the Labor leader.
There seems to be a chosen few who donate large sums of money to the Labor Party who get the opportunity to talk to the government about the issues that they have, and the vast majority of business feels like they're being left out in the cold.
But Ian Campbell says it's the Liberal Party that needs to re-examine its relationship with business. How can the WA Liberal Party rebuild to get back into a strong position? What changes need to be made?
There's a lot of bridges to be rebuilt. That can't be done in 4 years, but it needs to be done.
The despair is so deep within the Liberal Party about its prospects at the state election that it's begun messaging telling Western Australians to vote for the Liberals to ensure that Labor doesn't get total control of the state parliament, arguing a solid opposition is needed for a strong democracy.
It is really important for Western Australia to have a serious opposition.
But for despondent Liberals in the state, Ian Campbell is keen to point out political fortunes do change.
As Mark McGowan will tell Zak one day, it's amazing how quickly things turn around.
For the Liberals, it's unlikely to be quick enough, with recent polls suggesting WA Labor is heading towards its biggest ever state election victory. Ashley Gillen, Sky News, Perth.